Hi everyone. So, this is the fifth in our series of tools to support you. And this week it really came up around our root chakra and also our crown. Now, I spoke about the crown a lot in the very first video that we did back on the 13th of July. So, I won't talk about that too much now, but I will talk about our base chakra or our root. And in fact, for me, when I think about the crown and the base chakra working together, it's very much about our connection to heaven, our higher consciousness, our source, that trust and faith in life. And our root is very much connected to earth, so that connection, that flow between heaven and earth that actually meets in the heart. And towards the end of this, I'm going to do a little practice to connect you into your heart as well. But firstly, I did just want to speak about that base chakra. So, as I mentioned, it really is that sort of connection to earth, our groundedness. And it's also very much about our security and how we feel safe, particularly when we're feeling uncertain at the moment. This is something that can really be affected. And also around fear too, because when we don't feel safe, we sort of tend to feel a little bit fearful. So, to comfort ourselves often when we're out of balance, we often choose ways that aren't really helpful. Maybe we'll eat badly, comfort food that's not necessarily the best for us. Perhaps we'll overuse of alcohol, or maybe we'll binge too much on Netflix, or whatever it is. I think we all have those, things that we numb out on to make us, to comfort us. But ultimately, that sometimes don't necessarily end up being the best thing for us to make us feel better in that space. So, what I wanted to really look at was ways we could do that. The other side of that too is when we do feel uncertain, we can tend to feel weak and not have a lot of energy. So, we really want to sort of shift that as well. And we often too, we can sort of feel like we've lost our footing, or like we don't belong. So we want to really bring and really nurture ourselves so we can begin to feel better in that space. I've been speaking a lot in the last couple of weeks about movement, and movement is so important in this particular time. Just to get the body moving, because that really sort of shifts that sort of fear-based thinking. But also, as I mentioned last week, really like dance and moving to almost like tribal beats, like shaking out. It's awesome. Yoga, forward folds, slow movement, deep breathing into the belly, that is incredible too. Getting out in nature is really incredible. It's a beautiful day here, and any day it's a really nice day, even though it's cold and it's winter. I'll go and actually lie down in the park for 5 or 10 minutes and just sort of feel the earth underneath my body and just feel that connection to earth. I've also been known to kind of hug a few trees. I've been caught out doing that. Even just having plants in the house is really great for that as well, like bringing nature indoors. But particularly if you can get outside, I really highly recommend that. That is perfect. Another thing is also just watching the mind when it goes into those, fear-based states. So, what's really interesting about fear is it actually has the same physiological response in the body. So, as excitement, sorry, is what I meant to say. So, it has the same physiological response in the body as excitement. And really, what that is when we're in fear, we're perceiving an outcome to something that is bad, that we're predicting that is not going to go so well. However, when we're in the more excitement-based thinking, we're actually perceiving a future event as going well, that something will go well, so we kind of get that excited feeling. So that's kind of the difference. So what we really want to be able to do is to really bring ourselves into the present, firstly, is really important. But apart from that, you start to actually challenge those fear-based thoughts. So when it comes up, actually sort of questioning and sort of start to explore other possibilities. Because when we start to explore other possibilities, yeah, we can see that fear-based thought is certainly, a possible outcome, but that there's all this breadth of outcomes that could be possible as well. So we really want to be able to start to recognize um, that the fear-based outcome is not the only one. Okay, so bringing us into present really helps us to do that and acknowledge that it's a possibility, but that we can start to choose to sort of think and sort of see out of that out of that narrow based thinking that our minds often get hooked into, with its negative bias. So that's another way just to sort of start shifting your thinking there. One of the stones I love using is jasper. I don't know if you can see this, but this is just one of the most beautiful crystals that I have. It actually looks like the earth, doesn't it? It's just stunning. So jasper is really good for our stability and grounding, that connection to earth. And this one in particular is actually also good for positivity and to release sort of more negative energies. It's very soothing for the nervous system, and it's really nurturing and actually encourages that stability and also courage to come forward when maybe we're feeling a little bit fearful. So I think this is absolutely beautiful. Garnets and rubies are also good too. I've just got my little garnet on here today, so coming at it from all angles to get that sense of stability. Another thing that's really good is clove oil. So clove is beautiful. It's really grounding. I've got some in the atomizer at the moment. And I'll just read to you what clove does because I think it's really interesting. So clove oil helps dissolve dammed up energies within the root chakra. It encourages the readiness to liberate yourself from old and restricting social patterns originating out of a need for protection and security, and helps you open yourself to new, fresh energies. Thus, if you tune into the message of its vibrations, it will lead you to transformation and renewal. So you might like to get some clove oil if you haven't got some at home. It's beautiful. And lastly, what I thought I would do is actually just do a little practice with you, really, because often when we're in that sort of fear-based thinking, we're actually really in our minds. So what we want to actually really be able to do is to bring ourselves into our heart. So as I mentioned right at the start, to bring those flow of energies, the crown and the base really meeting in this central area and really dropping out of that overthinking mind. So you might just like to close down your eyes and just firstly feel yourself in your space. Breathe into your belly. Slow, deep inhalations and exhalations. You might even like to extend your exhalation. And feel your sit bones connected to the chair or to the ground, this place of stability, your foundation. And notice the mind, that thinking, fast-paced mind that perhaps is in rumination, in doing mode. And with your intention, invite it down into your heart. You might even like to place a hand on your heart. Dropping from this place of doing into your place of being. Your authentic self, a place of trust and faith, inner wisdom. And listen into your heart, really the place of your spirit. And ask it if it has a message for you. and listen to what it has to say. And know that in this moment, you have everything you need. All the love, the courage, the inner strength. It's all within you. You might like to get a sense of the energy flowing between your crown, all the way down to the base. This sense of flow between your higher consciousness, your crown, and your connection to earth. Flowing at peace. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And you can do that little practice as many times as you like. It's always great to connect into your heart and really start to listen to its wisdom and also bring those energies together. So as I mentioned, I spoke about the crown a lot more in the very first video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll actually put it in the notes. If you are watching this on Instagram, you can go back to the IGTV from the 13th of July. It's still there, so you can watch it and learn all about the crown, and that might give you some extra tips and tools. But I hope you have enjoyed this today, and I hope that it's helped. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to share, or even just how you use these tools, I would love to know. So please just share in the comments. And we'll be back for our very final week next week with these tools to support you. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care.